Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीनिवास आदि गौर भक्त विंद. हरे कृष्ण, हरे कृष्ण.
Ramash, you're muted.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paripradhakacharya Stotra Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Vedadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Tham Ki Jai, Navadip Tham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamana Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Welcome everybody to Srimad Bhagavatam with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Tuesday, August 12th, 2025, and today we're starting with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 20, Text 28. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ramash, did you want to read today? Should I?
No, okay, I'll start. Give me 1 minute. Jagajjananyam Jagadish Vaishasham Syadeva Yat Karmani Nasamihitam Karoshi Palgav Yapiru Karosh Palgav Karoshi Palgvapuru Dina Vatsala Swaesha Dishne Piratasya Kim Taya. My dear Lord of the universe, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, is the mother of the universe, and yet I think that she may be angry with me because of my intruding upon her service and acting on that very platform to which she is so much attached. Yet I am hopeful that even though there's some misunderstanding, you will take my part, for you are very much inclined to the poor, and you will always magnify even insignificant service unto you. Therefore, even though she becomes angry, I think that there's no harm for you, because you are so self-sufficient that you can do without her. Purport. Mother Lakshmiji, the goddess of fortune, is well known for always massaging the lotus feet of Lord Narayan. She is an ideal wife because she takes care of Lord Narayan in every detail. She takes care not only of his lotus feet, but of the household affairs of the Lord as well. She cooks nice food for him, fans him while he eats, smooths sandalwood pulp on his face, and sets his bed and sitting places in the right order. In this way, she's always engaged in the service of the Lord, and there's hardly any opportunity for any other devotee to intrude upon his daily activities. Prithu Maharaj was therefore almost certain that his intrusion into the service of the goddess of fortune would irritate her and cause her to become angry with him. But why should Mother Lakshmi, the mother of the universe, be angry with an insignificant devotee like Prithu Maharaj? All this was not very likely. Yet Prithu Maharaj, just for his personal protection, appealed to the Lord to take his part. Prithu Maharaj was engaged in performing the ordinary Vedic rituals and sacrifices according to karma kanda, or fruitive activities. But the Lord, being so kind and magnanimous, was ready to award Prithu Maharaj the highest perfectional stage of life, namely devotional service. When a person performs Vedic rituals and sacrifices, he does so to elevate himself to the heavenly planets. No one can become qualified to go back home, back to Godhead, by means of such sacrifices. But the Lord is so kind that he accepts a little insignificant service, and therefore it is stated in the Vishnu Purana that by following the principles of Varnashram Dharma, one can satisfy the Supreme Lord. When the Lord is satisfied, the performer of sacrifices is elevated to the platform of devotional service. Prithu Maharaj therefore expected that his insignificant service to the Lord would be accepted by him as being greater than that of Lakshmiji. The goddess of fortune is called Chanchala, restless, because she's very restless and always coming and going. So Prithu Maharaj indicated that even though she might go away out of anger, there'd be no harm for Lord Vishnu, because he is self-sufficient and can do anything and everything without the help of Lakshmiji. For example, when Garbhodakshay Vishnu begot Lord Brahma from his navel, he did not take any help from Lakshmiji. He was just sitting by him and massaging his lotus feet. Generally, if a son is to be begotten, the husband impregnates the wife, and in due course of time, the son is born. But in the case of Lord Brahma's birth, Garbhodakshay Vishnu did not impregnate Lakshmiji. Being self-sufficient, the Lord begot Brahma from his own navel. Therefore, Prithu Maharaj was confident that even if the goddess of fortune became angry with him, there would be no harm, neither to the Lord nor to himself. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Tadati Shapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savatutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lolita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kamshana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hori Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Pyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Ours is back up in Stuyvesant Falls.
Excuse me? Jayādvaita Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes, today we're in Stuyvesant Falls at the ashram of His Holiness Satsvarup Das Goswami.
I'm sorry, Guru Maharaj. I could have sworn I was muted and then.
Anyway, it's okay. It's a
Sorry about that.
profitable intrusion. Jagat Jananyam Jagadisha Vaishasham. So Lakshmi is the mother of the universe, but you're the father of the universe or the controller of the universe, and you didn't really need her to get anything started. Brahma was born without her. So you are Swarat, independent. And this, what would you say, somewhat humorous discussion is going on that, well, Lakshmi may be angry, but I'm not worried about her. Jagat Jananyam, we're very respectable to her. She's the mother of the universe. But still, if we take, still there's room for competition. We discussed that yesterday. The Lord Prithu Maharaj is in the Vira mood of, what would you say, heroism. And so he's ready to take on this service, and whoever else may be the competition, even the Jagat Janani, mother of the universe, Lakshmi Devi, we're ready to compete with her. And we've calculated that the Lord will take my side, because he's very kind to the fallen souls, and he took my side when there was a fight with Indra, so why not again here? And he appreciates even slight service, so I have that confidence. There seems to be turf protectiveness in devotional service, and even in the spiritual world. What can we say? Sometimes it becomes exasperating here when someone wants to, what would you say, hog all the service. But even in the spirit world, just hold on to it indefinitely. But even in the spiritual world, it seems that Lakshmi Ji might have that turf protectiveness. Yat karmani na samihitam kuroshi. Palgu. Even Palgu means very insignificant. what is that? Karoshi Palgavapurudina Vatsala. Because you're very kind to the poor, you magnify even a slight service. So certainly you may favor me. Let's see. Lakshmiji is an ideal wife, and the description is there of how she tends to the Lord's service. One would be hard-pressed to find any wife so attentive in this world, especially now. It's not a typo when it says his service, intruding upon his daily activities. She's assisting the Lord, attending to his service in his activities. That's her service, you could say. Yes, so it's intruding upon her service in his daily activities. And well, here's another argument. I'm just an insignificant devotee, so why should she be angry with me? I won't take very much. The Lord favored. Yeah, okay, so we've got that. A person performs Vedic rituals to become elevated to the heavenly planets, but the Lord is so kind that if one does that, he also accepts that, all right, this is part of devotional service. Varnashrama Acharvata Purushena Parapuman Vishnu Radyate Panta Nanyata Toshnakarna. All right, maybe it's karma kanda, but he's done some service to me. The Lord is so kind. Chanchala, Lakshmi is Chanchala. It might be implied, I won't be Chanchala, I'll steadily do this service. If she goes away, well, she might have gone away anyway. Hare Krishna.
We have another thing in the chat from Saraswati Mataji. I'm a little surprised to hear Prithu Maharaj imply the Lord, being self-sufficient, can do without Lakshmi Mata. She is the Lord's eternal consort, and no one should get in between husband/wife. We know how she was angry during Ratha Yatra, Hera Panchami festival, Gundicha temple, but Lord returned to her.
Still, the word is independent, Svarat. He can do without Lakshmi. He created Brahma without Lakshmi's assistance. He can do everything by himself. So what is the problem for the Lord? He can do without Lakshmi. Also, the attached householder, he can't do anything without his wife. She's going to cook for him. She's going to see to his bed. She's going to see to everything he needs. So in the material world, with a wife like that, you'd become completely sold out and dependent. Without my wife here, how will I eat? How will I do anything? But the sadhus, even if they're householders, they're ready to do everything on their own. All right, my wife is here, but if she's not here, I'll manage. And Lord Vishnu is like that also. Yes, very nice. She's doing so much service, but if she leaves me anyway, I'll manage. I have, what is that? Vividaiva Shruyate, unlimited energies. I'll manage without Lakshmi. Of course, This is Prithu Maharaj's calculation. He knows that the Lord is great, so he can do without her. From another point of view, the Lord is grateful to Lakshmiji. She's also his devotee or principal energy. So in one sense, this, so this is Prithu Maharaj's calculation. The Lord might not be so tactless as to say such a thing. Although he did on one occasion, said to Rukmini that, you made a mistake in choosing your husband. You could have had Shishupal or these other great kings. Somehow you chose a beggar like me who has so many disqualifications. But it's not too late. You could choose someone else. And after all, my devotees are not very attached to family life. So I'm also not very attached to family life. So better late than never. If you like, you could choose another husband. Of course, the Lord was joking, but otherwise, the Lord has this loving relationship with his devotees, of whom Lakshmi is in Vaikuntha, the greatest devotee. So one can see the thing from both sides.
We have some things in the chat. Radesha Prabhu writes, ending of VC commentary made me a little uncomfortable, wondering if I could hear from you about it.
Okay, let's read Vishnu's commentary, Vishnu Chakrabarti Thakur. This verse describes Prithu's Vira Bhakti, which is defined in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Kripam tasya samashritya prodham nanyam apekshate atulam yo bahana krishne pritim vira sauchate. I don't think this translation, it looks like something's left out here, but anyway. The devotee who takes shelter of Krishna and has incomparable attraction for Krishna, though he does not notice others, is called a Vira Parishad, or Vira Anuga, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay. There may be some conflict with Lakshmi, who's also my mother, since I reside within the universe. Why? I have a desire for her service, the service she's doing, Yat Karmani. Let her sit on your chest. I'm the sun. I'll do all the service to your feet. Is she so stubborn that she cannot live without that service? Then in reply, but you're a novice. She is experienced. You are low, and she is exalted. Why do you compete with her? True, but just as you took my side in the quarrel with Indra, you should favor me in this case as well. You make an insignificant person very great because you're affectionate to low creatures. Are you not afraid of her anger? I don't fear her anger, since I possess your power. Why should I worry about her? My strength is your great mercy. So he's depending on the mercy of the Lord. That seemed to have been there in Kripam Tasya Samashritya, in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu verse. This attitude is described in the following verse. Pralamba Ripurisharo Bhavatu Ka Kritistena Me. Pralamba Ripurisharo Bhavatu Ka Kritistena Me. Kumara Makaradvajadapina Kinchid Aste Palam. Kiman Yad Aham Uddhata Prabhu Kripa Tatakshasriya Priya Parishad Agriman Naganayami Bhamamapi. Balaram, enemy of Pralamba, may be the Supreme Lord, but what use do I have for him? What can I gain from the Prince Padumna? Since I've been elevated by the wealth of Krishna's glance of mercy, I do not give regard even to such a Bhama, the head of all Krishna's followers. According to the Amarkosha dictionary, Dishnya means power and fire. So we'd have to see where this very interesting verse comes from. And it would be interesting in context to see which specific quality it's meant to illustrate. But this, we can see from it a confidence in Krishna's protection, that all I have to do is depend on Krishna, and I don't need anybody else. I don't need Padumna. I don't need Satyabhama, anyone. Krishna is I don't need Balaram even, because Krishna is the source of Balaram. So this sort of, what's the word? In this case, it's almost a, you could see, like in a swashbuckling confidence, the hero of some drama who doesn't worry about anything. He's devil may care. He's confident. I don't worry about anyone. So in this case, because he's confident of the protection of the Lord, he has that confidence. Let's see. Yeah. Give me one more here. There. Krishna, Krishna.
I guess what upset me, if I may, Guru Maharaj, that swashbuckling confidence, that is to say, what need have I for the spiritual master? Let me jump, straight to Krishna. We've just been glorifying Balaram for Balaram Purnima, and we've been hearing so much, and it's a little hard for me to hear that verse, but it would be interesting to hear the context, and maybe that would help clarify.
Yeah, I'm sure the context is not, what need do we have of the spiritual master? That would be untoward. But the sense that Krishna is the source of everything, so I can simply depend on Krishna, and everything will be fine. Let me just think of one thing. Yeah.
Guru Maharaj,
Yes.
I have the Banu's presentation of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu
Good.
to me with Jiva Goswami's commentary for this verse, and I think it's illuminating.
Yeah, fill us in, please.
This is how the commentary goes. This should be understood as a display of external pride because of a special intensity of love, though the person has actual internal affection for the persons mentioned. It would be disagreeable if this mood were real. This should be understood in the next example also. It will also be explained in verse 61. This is a private conversation of a Vira Bhakta to a somewhat close associate of Satyabhama. Such frank language showing Krishna's superiority over Balaram and Satyabhama would be embarrassing for Krishna to hear directly.
Hmm. Yes. So it's a sort of a tasty mood here, where we're hearing Prithumaj say,
push down also. And this
Excuse
is
me?
not built for it. It's too
okay. Seems like we're having some forgetfulness around muting our audio. So it's sort of a tasty set of verses here and expressions. The Vira Bhakta is saying, bring her on. I'm ready to take on Lakshmi's service. What is she going to do? She can't do anything to me, can't do anything to you. And why should she care anyway? I'm just a little insignificant fellow. So if you could imagine this like in modern politics. So what if we take over this country? What power do they have? And United States, if they take on, they help them. Who cares for the United States? What are they? Or perhaps some lesser power. If Italy takes their side, we'll just run all over them. So this sense of confidence that because I'm so keen to serve Krishna that I'll just walk past anyone to do it, and Krishna will protect me. Maybe on my own I'd have a hard time with these other people, but I'm confident that Krishna will protect me. So I'm ready to take on Lakshmi or anyone. And then what do I care about Balaram? What do I care about Satyabhama? As long as Krishna is there. So these are sort of that as we hear in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, they're expressions of pride, and that pride sort of gives a sweet taste here. It's not like the pride of a neophyte, materialistic devotee who's overcome by false ego. It's inspired by devotional eagerness, and so it's not a fault. Yes, Panchatattva Prabhu.
Yeah. What's really interesting, which is really, really far out, just made my hair stand on end. The very next verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is a quotation of Bhagavatam 4:20-28. It's the very next verse.
Right. So the same features are being illustrated, the same sentiments are being illustrated. And yes, there's a sweetness to this. If it were a materialistic pride, it would be distasteful. It would be, who do you think you are? It would be arrogance. It would be, as you picked up, Radhesha, overstepping the spiritual master or the Adi Guru, Lord Balaram. It would be obnoxious. But here, when it's expressed by a pure devotee, so keen to serve and serving in that mood of Vira Bhakti, then it's tasteful. As Bhishma Deva opposing Krishna, that would be horrible. Somebody shooting arrows at Krishna, somebody fighting against Krishna and claiming to be a devotee. We'd be appalled. But when Bhishma Deva fights against Krishna, again in a mood of chivalry, then Krishna enjoys it. There's a taste there that one doesn't find in other relationships. So these are our dealings of Krishna and his pure devotees. There's some other things in the chat. Saraswati.
We missed some things from earlier.
Okay.
Praveen Prabhu writes, we see some devotees wanting to get some favor from someone highly positioned, so that one would want to serve in a position he aspires. So Prithu Maharaj's prayer validates this. Update. Okay, Prithu doesn't really mean it, but some devotees really try to aspire for someone's position for service.
Yeah. Therefore, I mentioned that when it's because of materialistic contamination in service, it's not very appreciated. Someone wants to serve, but he wants to be in the top spot. Someone wants to serve, but he only wants to do the juicy service and not the tough service, or he wants to do the high profile service where everyone will see. He wants to do this, the 7 o'clock RT, but he won't do the 4 o'clock RT because no one's there. That sort of mood is not so much appreciated, where he's unwilling to turn over to let anyone else learn how to serve or be engaged in service, because then he might lose his post. So that's sort of Indra's mentality, and Indra's mentality isn't very much appreciated. So that it's not so, but this is the original pure form of that kind of what would you say, brashness, that kind of tenacity, also that kind of holding on to something as one's exclusive property. It's all there in the spiritual, just like madness. It's there in the spiritual world. Radharani is having a serious discussion with a bee out of total madness, where Prabhupada cited the example that what Krishna is milking a cow, a bull instead of a cow, because he's so infatuated by Srimati Radharani that his mind is carried away. So in the spiritual world, there's madness also. But if you say in this world, well, so what if I behave like a madman? In the spiritual world, the highest devotees are madmen. So let me act. So what if I'm crazy? Prabhupada said the temple is not a place for lazies and crazies, but so what? Even in the spiritual world, it's not meant to justify being crazy or lazy. There's laziness in the spiritual world too. But if we think, so let me be lazy and crazy, no. But where do these things come from? They come from Krishna. They come from Krishna. They come from the spiritual platform. So the thing in its pure form should not be imitated by the neophyte devotees or less purified devotees, nor should those spiritual activities be used to justify our anarthas. That's not the point. But we can appreciate, not imitate. That, if we start walking around and, what do I care about Balaram? What do I care about Satyabhama? What do I care about? Then, you're the expression I heard today was cruising for a bruising. We're setting ourselves up for fall down with that kind of arrogant mentality. But arrogance, intoxication is seen in the spiritual world. But that doesn't mean that intoxication is fine for us too. So we have to see these things from our lower position and appreciate that these are completely purified activities. Anger is there in the spiritual world. So if someone says, well, Lord Nrsingadev got angry, what's wrong if I go totally bonkers? It may say in the Bhagavad Gita, Kama Krodha Tata Lobhas Tasmat, one should give up. Tasmade Tatrayan Chije, one should give up anger. But in the spiritual world, there's anger, so I'm going to keep it. It's not like that. Hare Krishna.
Saraswati Mataji writes, Pranams from Puja Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. Is there a typo or error in the sentence? In this
I
way,
answered that already.
yeah, and repeated Radesha Prabhu's quote. I think you saw it, or at least you said the same quote. So, the Varnashrama Chara.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that he was providing the quote.
Okay. Panchatattva Prabhu writes, are Prithu Maharaj's statements an expression of determination in ecstasy?
Yes. Yes. These are all ecstatic expressions. His determination, his pride. These are all manifestations of transcendental devotional ecstasy. They're not products of the modes of material nature. Hare Krishna.
Saraswati Mataji writes, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recommends serving the servant of the Lord. Mad Bhakta Puja Yadika. Service of my devotee is better than trying to engage in service to me.
Yes. Therefore, if Prithu Maharaj has said, I just want to be engaged in the service of Lakshmi Ji, she would just give me a little bit of, let me do a little bit, assist her just slightly in the service of your lotus feet. I would be so grateful. That would be completely acceptable and completely normal. A humble devotee just wants to be servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. That's what we normally expect. But here, unusually, Prithu Maharaj, what do I care about Lakshmi? All right, all respects to Mother Lakshmi, but why can't I just take some of her service and appropriate it for myself? She has no reason to mind, and even if she does mind, so what? I can handle it. You can handle it. These are unusual. This is not what we would expect from a humble devotee. But these are the dealings on the spiritual platform. In this, Yashoda Maya is chastising Krishna. How are you ever going to make anything of yourself in life if you act like a thief, if you don't? So she's criticizing. He's calling Krishna and Balaram from the forest. Krishna, do you think you're a street boy? Get back here. So we can't imitate. And we're cautioned in Nectar of Devotion that in our worship of the deity, for example, we can't imitate the pure devotees. Sometimes we hear about exalted devotees who talk this way with their deities. You get back there, you do this, do that. I think Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, maybe it was or Kamsi doesn't like that. There were some instances given that they would speak with their deity in what's the word, a commanding fashion, but on occasion. But we can't imitate that. Not that we become advanced devotees by imitating the advanced devotees. A very nice example is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Raghava Pandit was collecting coconuts to offer to his deity, get the best of everything for his deities. And he would collect the best coconuts. He would, he had his radar out. Where are the best coconuts to be found? And even if he had to get the coconuts from a great distance from if he heard there was some special coconuts available somewhere really sweet, he would go through great endeavor to get those coconuts to offer to his deity. And then he would, clip off the parts that you don't need, and he would offer the coconuts very nicely, wash them and clip them and offer them. So one time he sent someone to get some very, very special coconuts, and the devotee, the assistant, came and he brought the coconuts for the worship of the Lord. But as he came into the deity room, I think it was the house, the deity room, he touched the upper lintel of the door, and Raghava Pandit said, "Oh, now you've ruined the whole thing. People walk in through that door, dragging in dust, and then they kick up the dust, and the dust lands up at the top of the door. And now you've touched that while you're touching the coconut. So you've contaminated the coconuts, because there's, in proper culture, there's an understanding about what's clean and what's not clean. And if we, for example, if you drink water by touching the glass to your lips, now the water, the glass is unclean, and your hand is unclean, because the mouth is, where all the saliva and stuff is. It's not the cleanest place. So if we touch the glass to our mouth, then it's juta. Juta means dirty, unclean. So now the glass is juta, and my hand is also juta, because it was touching the glass. And even if I touch something with my other hand now, that hand has become juta, because it belongs to the same body that I touched the water to my lips with. So then I have to either drink water properly, as we saw Prabhupada do it by, and even why Prabhupada, every common villager knows this. I happened to see a news article in The Economist, I think it was, about maybe a drought in Punjab or something in Punjab going on. And they had a photo showing workers harvesting wheat. And one of the workers was had probably a Bisleri bottle, a water bottle, and he's drinking water from like 10 inches away, sort of, just turning the bottle in such a way that the water cascades into his mouth. So that of course made the photo quite vivid and exceptional. But it all, for the devotee, it illustrates that even the common worker in the field knows how to drink water in such a way that he doesn't contaminate his hands and make them juta. But those who come from other cultures may not know, so they sit down to read the Srimad, to give the Srimad Bhagavatam class. They pick up the book, then they drink some water like this, and then they flip through the book, and they don't realize that a person who knows better looks at this and says, "Oh, what a mlecha." He's doesn't know what's clean and what's not clean. So there's a standard there to be observed, and Raghava Pandit was really on that. That you're holding onto the coconuts with one hand, with the other hand you've touched the lintel of the door, and and the dust is all there from people's feet. You've contaminated the coconut. So he threw them out. They discarded them as unfit to offer. So of course, from one person's point of view, you might say he was a fanatic. Or from another point of view, you say, just see how much devotion he had to the Lord. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments that, yes, this was by his devotional ecstasy, but it's not that if you do the same thing, that indicates that you're on the same platform. If you imitate and say, well, this such and such thing now is duta, I discard it. If you become ultra punctilious about absolute cleanliness, you don't become Raghava Pandit, you just become a fanatic. It's not that you ascend to his level of ecstatic devotion by imitating its outward manifestations. When he acts that way, it's out of pure love. When we act that way, it's out of a desire to be, what's the word? To, to be, over punctilious, either to make a name for ourselves or to think, yes, I'm really following the principles of puja. With Raghava Pandit, it was just an expression of his spontaneous love for the Lord. And by imitating the outward behavior, we don't achieve the inward devotion. So we can't imitate Prithu Maharaj, Raghava Pandit, or other great devotees just by, especially in matters for which we're not fit. The highly advanced devotees can speak this way, but if we imitate, then we just become offensive. We don't become. Doesn't mean that now we've attained the same ecstatic perfection. It just means that we're being offensive. So we have to worship these things and not these behaviors, these devotees, and not imitate them. Hare Krishna.
Praveen Prabhu writes, the same Prithu Maharaj will be honoring and washing the feet of the 4 Kumaras soon.
Yes. Exactly. Good example. Thank you. He doesn't assume that same sort of brashness with the Kumaras. He becomes, as mentioned, servant of the servant. Yes, and Prabhu mentions Pujala Ragapata Gaudava, that we can't jump into these ecstatic devotional moods. We'll keep them above our head and worship them. Hare Krishna. Shall we have kirtan? It seems like we're at about that point.
Yes. Guru Maharaj, do you have somebody there who can lead?
I don't.
Okay. Naveen Prabhu, are you available?
Naveen is never available.
Naveen.
Naveen. Okay.
Could I throw in really quickly one small thing is that Lakshmi Devi is not there. It's all of this is this it's all going on in his head. It's kind of like if Lakshmi Devi showed up, I'm sure he wouldn't throw it in her face. Or I don't know. Maybe I should ask the question.
Chakravarti Thakur says even if the Lord were present, he wouldn't be speaking this way. It would be embarrassing for the Lord, and it's certainly not the sort of thing that you would say in the presence of Lakshmi. But in a sort of intimate relationship with the Lord. He prays to the Lord in this ecstatic fashion.
Thank you much.
Thank you. And there's Naveen.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupad Purnamana Pripad Jakacharya Ashtottara Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami Ki Jai.
Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you all. Hare Krishna. And thank you, Barnali, for the kirtan, and Naveen for the kirtan. Thanks to all. Hare Krishna.